Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aiman Balkis binti Muhammad Fadzli, and this is my design of the Art and Handicraft Center specifically for batik. Before jumping in, this is the overview of the overall presentation boards. So the first and foremost is the study carried out before designing. To start things off is the introduction of our client. Her name is Farah Mohan, or most popularly known as Novak Batik. She is a full-time batik maker focusing on producing hand-drawn batik. We managed to talk to her through Google Meet, and she listed some of her preferences and what she looks forward to for this building. She prefers a modernist, minimalistic design with a subtle hint of traditional elements. She also mentioned a couple of times her interest in using traditional materials such as timber and bamboo. She also loves having greeneries and natural elements around the building. For the synthesis, the application of timber cladding and greeneries at the facade of the building whereby it is in line with the client's preference and also help in reducing excessive heat from entering. Besides that, clean, straight lines will be used for the building whereby it enhances the minimalistic approach and resembles that of the Malay traditional house. Moving on to the art piece itself, which is the batik. On the surface, it is a traditional textile art where the process includes tracing hot batik wax on fabric. The ideas extracted here is that stable and controlled hands are required for chanding. This can be reflected in the application of straight contemporary lines because, according to a source, and I quote, horizontal and vertical lines used together in a square or rectangular shape convey structure and represent stability. At the end of the day, batik is about techniques and process, although according to Yes Yusof, one of the founders of Batik Tektura, many people still think of batik as a pattern instead of a technique. He also added, when one understands the process, they can create something new. Moving on to the proposed site for Site B. It is located just beside the main road. The prevailing wind is coming from the front and from the sloping area. This site is also located partially on the ground and the slope. For the synthesis, main building will be orientated horizontally to reduce exposure from the east and west sun. The main parking area and circulation will be located near the main road. For the precedent studies synthesis extracted from the Deck House Janda Baik, Solar Chimney House KL and Penang Batik Factory, monopitch roof will be used as it is the most common in modern building and it provides higher ceilings, which is one of the traditional elements. Solar chimney will be applied at the entrance area and adequate spaces will be provided to aid the process of making batik. For the case studies, the building will be slightly raised on reinforced concrete stilts and stump, and timber louvers will be used at the highest point to aid ventilation. Moving on to the concept of my design, which I chose elegance. It is having the quality of being pleasingly simple and neat, whereby modern minimalistic architecture is often reflected in the usage of clean straight lines. The inspiration behind this concept is from the client and batik process. The client expresses her preference for something simple and minimal with some modern and traditional touch. Through observation, her inclination towards minimal approaches is apparent in social media. The Islamic way of viewing this is that Islam encourages minimalism in every aspect. Avoiding what is unnecessary is of the utmost importance to avoid any extravagance. Human is susceptible to extravagance as it has been stated in the Quran, Surah Al-Adiyat verse 8, and verily the human being is intense in the love of wealth. The proposed site for this project is located near Kampung Sungai Pusu and it is quite near to IIUM Gombak as well. From the site plan, the entrance is situated in a way that it is not too close to the main road that can cause people to drive past it and miss the entrance, but not too far that people cannot see. Upon entering, the drop-off point is in front of the building and the circulation inside is in accordance with the arrow. The entry point at the other end is solely for the services point. It is somewhat hidden from the public side by means of trees. For the site zoning, the area which is facing the main road is considered the public area and the ones facing the smaller road is semi-public. Another area that faces the slope is considered private. For the bubble diagram, on the ground floor, the lobby, souvenir shop and exhibition are located in the public area. Although the cafe is a public space, it is located near the semi-public area because it is closer to the services point for easy loading and unloading. The same goes for the workshop because of the materials and tools that must be kept carefully and not for people to play around with. The private studio for the client is located in the private area. The toilet and services are located in the semi-public area. On the first floor, both public and semi-public spaces can be found here, and on the second floor, private spaces solely for the workers are located here. Moving on to the design development. The building will be orientated horizontally to the side to minimize the sun exposure coming from the east to west. The shape is then modified to follow the site profile in order to utilize the site efficiently. The form of the building is obtained whereby a lofty ceiling is applied around the frontage of the building. It is then raised on RC stilts with spaces being added to the building. A void is created in the middle to allow for a green area. Monopitch roof is chosen as it is in line with the modern minimalistic approach and suitable for the tropical weather. Moving on to the floor plan. At the lobby and entrance area, a curved wall is used to create a distinction between the entrance and other areas. Once entering the building, the visitors can immediately see the void or green space area in the middle, which is in line with the client's preference. For the location of the exhibition and workshop area, I have asked a few people, for example, if they were to enter a handicraft center, would they want to see the finished product first or the process of making the art, and most of them answered seeing the finished product first. This is because only then they will feel more intrigued in knowing how the product is created. But then again, this is subjective and it does not apply to everyone. So once the visitors enter, they can decide whether to go to the exhibition area first or the workshop. If they were to visit the exhibition first, they will enter and can have a look around the room provided with sitting areas for their comfort. After finishing at the exhibition area, they can go straight to the workshop. Here they can produce their own batik and learn the right techniques. Tables are provided for the chanting process, and the washing and drying of fabric can take place at the outdoor decking. The private studio is located at the end to give more privacy for the client and at the same time stay feeling connected with the people coming by. Here, open space and greeneries are used in line with the client's preference. So after finishing up at the workshop, the visitors can freshen up at the toilet area provided near the workshop. After that, they can sit down and re-energize at the cafe after a long day spent at the workshop. It is a mezzanine cafe. The visitors can stop by at a souvenir shop too before exiting the building. For the people who want to learn more about batik, such as how to make businesses out of it and more of the theoretical part, they can go to the first floor to the seminar room. The additional learning process takes place here. The musola is also located at this level. Rooftop garden for public access is also located on this level just above the souvenir shop. Taking into account the younger generations that are attracted to the works of the client, this can also be a suitable space to hang out with friends. The second floor is mainly for the workers, where we have office, pantry area, and meeting room. Moving on to the elevation. This is the northwest elevation. Here we can see the usage of timber cladding on the facade and timber louvers at the highest point. Next is the southeast elevation. Here we can see the continuous staircase area, which acts as the atrium for solar chimney. Next we have the northeast elevation, and here we have the southwest elevation. Here we can see more usage of timber cladding and other finishes. This is the view towards the building frontage. Moving on to the sections. Here we have the section XX, where we can see the void in the middle for green area. From this section too, we can see the differing levels of each floor. Next is the section YY. Here it overlooks the exhibition area, workshop area, private studio, storage area, offices, and toilets. Here we have some interior perspectives. This is the view towards the exhibition area. Here we can see the mezzanine floor protruding from the first floor. Next is the view towards the lobby. Here we can also see the mezzanine floor for each level. The large batik tapestry hanging on the wall create a sense of welcoming for the people to further explore the building. Next is the view towards the cafe. Here we can see the mezzanine mentioned earlier. Moving on to the construction detail. Here is the detail cutting through the wall at the souvenir shop. Since the rooftop garden is located above the souvenir shop, the roof used here is a flat roof. RC beam and slab are used. Last but not least is the water plumbing and sanitary diagram. This diagram combines both systems. Here are the models and structural models of the buildings.